Hi, it's Jen Lagath, and I'm going to do my data analysis. I broke down our first geometry test that was on segment addition and angle addition. The test consisted of 4 multiple choice questions and 13 questions that required students to solve problems. So the first data I wanted to look at is to see where these students took the test. And why I thought this was important to note is because most times, obviously up until this year, tests have been taken in school and they haven't been online in math. So this is a first for a lot of these kids to take an online math assessment for summative grade, and it's some of their first math tests since probably last February. So I thought the location was something to really look at. Can kids focus at home versus in school? So the way our school works is half the kids come one day, half the kids come the other day, and then there's some fully remote kids. And our class consists of 43 special ed kids and about 76 regular ed kids. So looking at this data shows that most of the kids took this test online at home, which I think influences how well students can do because they're not able to ask questions or they don't feel comfortable jumping on the Google Meet to ask for clarification. The second thing I wanted to look at, we did have them complete a study guide over the course of 2 days. They had to show us their work at the end, and we also posted an answer key. Once the students completed the study guide, they were allowed to use this on the test. So not only did we allow them to use it on the test, we also posted the answer key that they could have written the answers down. And almost 59% of the students did not complete the study guide, and that is reflected in the test scores. As you can see, the test scores were really terrible. Like I said, we are a co-taught class, so we have a lot of students that struggle with math. And I think the online platform is causing some issues because like 13 of the questions you actually had to write out and try to solve for x, plug it back in, find the length. As you can see, we ranged from kids that scored as low as 2 and as high as 25, but our median was 13 and the average coming in at a failing grade of 13.38. I think this is a lot of reflection on the current learning environment, us as teachers adapting to trying to teach online. But I also looked Google Sheets, Google Forms breaks down and frequently missed questions. Every single question, as you can see here, was solving. None of the frequently missed questions were the multiple choice. This is where students had to actually input data, and looking specifically at 8B, it was segment addition that students had to set up the problem to solve for X and then go back and plug it in for SV, or the segment SV. So a lot of it was solving, as you can see, and about 50% of our kids, less than, were able to get some of those questions correct. I specifically looked at first period because first period's a pretty good indicator. We have a mixture of students that are probably about 5 students that are special ed out of 15, and probably about 5 or 6 that are fully remote. And I thought it would be, and I took their test scores. So as you can see, students 1 through 8 on the left side, their various test scores. Overall, their average was a 19 out of 25, which isn't terrible when you're dealing with a co-taught classroom. However, student 8, who scored an 8 out of 25, he did just copy the answers down from the study guide. I had watched him do it, so that could be why he didn't score well. And then over on the right-hand side, I have the list of students in that period who did not submit the study guide and their overall score. As you can see, the average was significantly lower because they didn't use the practice. I am not sure if they used their notes, but they did not submit a study guide, which was a formative assessment grade, and you can see how that impacted their scores. I'm posting also a Google Doc with all of my information on it, and kind of my interpretation of the data. Thanks.